Today we're doing an oil change on a 2011 Chevy Equinox. So as my car says, change engine oil soon. So push the set clear button. That makes the warning go away. So I'm going to go through the menu and see how much oil life is left. 0%. So I just want to show you this so that at the end I'll show you how to reset it and put everything back the way it should be. So the oil filter is right there. I will be accessing this from the bottom. Just wanted to show you from the top side what we're looking at. Here's the oil fill cap. For this oil change, I'll be using Castrol GTX High Mileage 5W30, PF63E ACDelco oil filter, and Lucas Heavy Duty Oil Stabilizer. This engine requires 6 quarts of oil. And so if you buy the 5-quart oil and then you add a quart of the Lucas oil, you get the 6 quarts. First thing I'm going to do is take the oil fill cap off. Then I'll go underneath and remove the drain plug. Okay, so now that we're under the vehicle, we can kind of take a look. I don't have real good light here, but here's the drain plug. So I'll pull that out, and then let's see if I can get some light. Alright, so here is the oil filter. So I'm going to go ahead and pull the drain plug and let it drain for a little bit before we pull the oil filter off. It's going to be a 15 millimeter. And it looks like it's going to be kind of difficult to get a socket on there. That looks like it's kind of on there. I think I'm going to use a wrench. Alright, so once you get the drain plug loose, you can just let it go. I'm just going to let this drain until it pretty much stops before I go to the oil filter. I don't know if you can see, there's just a couple drips coming out. So I'm going to go ahead and put the oil drain plug back in. And like I said, this seemed to be a little easier with a wrench rather than a socket. So that's what I'm going to put it on there with. And you don't have to over tighten these. If you do, it could cause problems. This is aluminum. You just don't want to strip that out. That'll cause headaches that you don't need. Alright, so we're going to move to the oil filter. Here we are with the oil filter. Now, we should be able to reach up there and turn it by hand. But it doesn't seem to want to budge. So I will probably grab an oil filter wrench. I might get it from the top side and try and break it loose up there. And we'll go top side real quick so you can see that. And so here's the oil filter. I'm not sure where this oil is going to go, so we might not have real good lighting while I do this. Alright, so you can tell I pulled the oil filter straight up. I really just didn't want to get oil all over me by pulling it off from the bottom side. So I'm going to let that drip a little bit. Try and clean it up, get it off the exhaust manifold, and wipe it up off the outlying areas. Right here I imagine there's some oil collected there, so I'm trying to get that cleaned up before we put the new filter on. Alright, I think we're good here. We're going to get the new filter, put some oil on the seal, and then put it in place and fill it back up. Alright, so one thing I noticed while looking at the new oil filter, this is the PF63E, which was listed for my vehicle, versus the one that I took off, which is the PF48E. Obviously you can tell the PF63E is taller. The diameter looks the same. You know, this all looks the same, so if it fits, I will go ahead and use it. I think it'll just be extra capacity. If there's somebody that knows better about this than me, feel free to comment below and let me know what the difference is. But I'm going to go ahead and try it and see if it'll thread on and seat proper. Then I'll pull it back off, lube the seal, and then put it back on. Okay, we can see it threads on just fine. It's not obstructing the movement of anything. I'm going to go ahead and proceed as I normally would. So I'm going to pull it off, seal up the O-ring, put a little bit of oil on it just to lubricate the O-ring, and then I'll reinstall it. Alright, we're ready to reinstall, or I should say install the oil filter. And it's a good idea to put some oil on the seal just to keep it from seizing and being difficult to take off when you do your next oil change. I'm just removing the seal from the container, and I just want to get a little bit of oil on my fingers. And you can see just putting it around here, around the seal right here. Alright, that's good. Ready to reinstall the oil filter. Get it set in place. Okay, here we go. So one thing to think about when you're putting an oil filter on, just like the oil drain, just like the drain plug, you don't want to over tighten it. There's just a lot of problems that you can have when you go to remove it. So when we get to where it's snug, we want to get about a 3/4 of a turn and just let it be. I think we're getting real close. Okay, so it's kind of snug right now, and I need to get another grip on it. Give another angle for you. Okay, so here we go. All right, and that's all that we need. Just that little bit right there. And now we've got the drain plug reinstalled. We have the oil filter put back in place, the new one. And now we'll move to the top side to add oil. Okay, here we are back on the top side. So I'm gonna get a funnel. And I know the capacity of this engine for engine oil is 6 quarts. I have a 5-quart container. So I'm going to go ahead and empty this container. Alright, the oil container is empty. And now we're going to put a Lucas oil stabilizer in it. It also has a seal. Okay, so we pretty much ran this bottle dry. Give that a second to run through the funnel. Okay. Clean this up. We'll wipe up any messes that we got up here. I'm going to go ahead and check the fill level. Then I'll check it again once it's down off the stands. And so hopefully you can see we're at the top level there. We are in great shape. Alright, so we've got it back on the ground. We're going to go ahead and check the oil level again. And wipe this off. Another dip. And there you can tell we're right in the middle, halfway. We are good to go. Alright, so as I said earlier, I'm going to reset the change engine oil soon. Earlier I went through the menu and says 0% oil life. So I'm just going to press and hold the set clear button. I'm going to do that right now. Press and hold. Are you sure you want to reset? And then I'm just going to use up and down. So I'm going to go yes and push the set clear button again. There we go, 100% ready to go. 2011 Chevy Equinox oil change.